Housekeepers of Reddit, what do you know about the owners of the houses that they don't know you know? Man of the house asked me and the other cleaning crew ladies if we have ever seen this type of dog leash. Holds up what is clearly a underbed restraint system looking confused. I didn't say sh. We all looked at each other like F no I'm not telling him. He says maybe she wants a dog. Why was it under the mattress? He just wandered off dragging this thing behind him. He was a nice guy, worked a lot, tipped well, gave us holiday bonuses. She was a trophy wife, and was not nice to him. They divorced while I still worked there. He got a dog named Mayonnaise and was much happier. It was a rescue greyhound. Sweet dog. I don't live in that town anymore, but I hope Jim is happy still. I'm a nanny. The last family worked for, I overheard the dad calling his insurance asking if a certain rehab was covered. He talks loud naturally. I heard what he was going for and everything. Nobody knew, not family, not friends. Just me and them. They never knew I knew. Our maid service found our positive pregnancy test in the bathroom trash. After presumably finding negative pregnancy tests in the bathroom trash for the previous 12 months, left us a nice little congratulations note on my wife's nightstand. I'm not a housekeeper, but my late aunt used to be. One of her clients, who was fairly well to do, had a whole closet full of genital themed toys. And when I say toys, I'm not using a euphemism for enhancement items or anything like that. Literal genital toys. Wind up dildos with googly eyes on them. Pez dispenser shaped like the most browsed pages of a skin mag. I suspect these weren't official Pez brand. Rather risque variants on pin the tail on the donkey. Nerf like gun that fired foam phalluses. Not a housekeeper but a nanny. A family once took me on vacation with them so I could watch their kids while they did go out and explore the area. That week, my bed was the couch in the living room. It's late at night. The kids are sleeping. I'm laying on the couch and the parents get back. The dad says, "Is she sleeping?" referring to me. I didn't say anything, so apparently he assumed yes. He then started farting very loudly. I expected that story to end differently. Dog walker. Here, I was dog sitting for an older work friend once and saw her days sober calendar. I was simultaneously sad, because I had no idea she was struggling, and happy for her because she had almost a full month marked off. My cleaning guy caught me leaving the house once. Said he knew I smoked pot because he'd find stuff for it a lot and asked if he could find me some for a camping trip with his wife. I freaked a little after he just said, "I know you do marijuana." I was like, am I catching a lecture? House I used to work at had a secret passage from the master bed to the attic. Also a secret passage from a cabinet in the great room leading to the exterior of the garage. Honestly, everything. I worked in a house manager butler type of position. And there is nothing you don't find out eventually. The trajectory of the toothpaste droplets on the mirror would tell me which of the women had spent the night. I knew passwords to computers, alarm systems, bank accounts and safes that I hadn't necessarily been provided with. Dogs, kinks, medical history, sordid family secrets, skeletons in the closet, you name it. I think that's the reason salaries get obscene if you stare long enough. Your silence is literally golden. When you cheat on your all-organic keto diet, why be on a keto diet if you're going to cheat? That totally ruins it. Just get yourself on a healthy diet that allows you to cheat a little here and there without completely ruining it. There's a secret basement in the house behind a shelf in the kitchen. The previous owner did it. A whole lot. My favorite story is this old couple, mid-70s, inseparable, and couldn't be sweeter if they were covered in sugar. The lady would always leave me a cooked lunch for when I came over, and explicit instructions written on the top of the cling wrap for how long to microwave it. Their house was just a few steps down from a mansion. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It usually took a good 3 hours just to finish all the vacuuming and dusting. One day they had a room closed and locked that had always been open before. Their treadmills and old people dumbbells were in there. No note or anything on the door about leaving it alone. And since I had a universal key, I didn't give it a second thought and went in. Didn't find anything unusual apart from a largish box on the treadmill. Picked it up to dust off, and the bottom gives way. Out fall about 10 different toys. A purple dildo that must have been a foot and a half long. clearly used nipple clamps, and a flashlight with Arnold Sharpie on it were among the things I had to very carefully put back in the box to place it elsewhere. Dusted the room and vacuumed it, trying the whole time to erase the contents of that box from my memory. I finish that up, and feeling a bit peckish, decide to take that time to go eat lunch. 2 chicken breasts with a side of celery greeted me in the dining room. The cling wrap had 2 notes on it, the first of which read microwave for 1:30 on high, sauces in fridge. The second, which was clearly written very hastily by the husband, read you should have put a serious tag on this question. Working in hotels is similar to cleaning someone's house, because those comfortable will lay it out for you. You can tell if someone is messy or tidy at home, how well they take care of their things, what they eat, how much they drink, what medical problems they may have. And if you get the chance to meet them, you can piece together why they live the way they do by telling their stories. I never made fun of our guests or judged them. That would be so unfair and intrusive. Nice Colombian family, big tipping. They import Coke from Colombia. One of my most vanilla customers doesn't know I know about her bondage fetish. She seems like she would be a kindergarten teacher. It caught me off guard when I seen her ropes cuffs. Housekeeper nanny here. Eventually we find everything, mainly where the toys are, where dad hides all his empty energy drink cans, where mom stores all her shopping purchases with tags still on them. Parents in general hide their unusual items in the most usual places. Simple boxes in bedroom drawers, in random linen closets, mostly readily able to find and just out of their way. I've helped move several families and doing the checks for packing has gotten some interesting results. We know when the parents are tired and don't want to come home. We know sometimes the bar trips the parent takes before coming home. We know schedules that they say are the reason aren't really the reason. We know personal preferences they have over the years to any random assortment of things. Seriously, who buys mayo to put on everything as their condiment of choice? Some things that we know, they know we do and accept it. A lot of the stuff we know, we find out and definitely play dumb with. First milestones in nannying are a big one. Keep that to the parents finding the first tooth we found days ago. The walking steps they took yesterday were really the first today. Why take those moments from parents needlessly is our perspective. Housekeeping is usually the who is dirtiest. I know which parent doesn't brush their teeth every day, which parent is having an affair with a coworker and left behind a recognizable item on accident. We know that they don't even consider or think much about us knowing all these things. The worst was accidentally listening to my bosses get it on. They had left the monitor for the baby in their room. It was not turned off and they to this day do not know I heard them, and turned off the monitor. Not the housekeeper, but I thought I had this brilliant hiding spot, and when I lost my wallet, my maid told me you should hide it with those papers inside your nightstand next time. I felt such fear. She knows the house better than any of us. I was a nanny and babysitter for an exclusive, high-end agency. I am trying to choose a story. I have hundreds. I guess I'll go with this one. One of my regulars was a literal math genius in one of the best universities in the country. Her apartment was across from the dorms. Aside from sleeping with her students and others she'd pick up on casual encounters, she showed me her toy collection, which was extensive, and gave me a set of binoculars and asked if I wanted to join her on Saturday night when she liked to watch the kids having it in their dorm rooms. I politely declined. Maybe I made a face or something because she tried to make me feel more comfortable by asking me if I'd like a drink. I accepted. Normally I'd say no, but I had to ask her something relating to her kids. I don't remember what. Anyway, we sit on the couch and she pours me some wine and then says, "I know," with a big smile. She stood up. I got a little nervous, but then she headed to the piano and started playing Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag. And that was that night. A bit of an innocent one, but while I was cleaning I saw this cabinet that was very large, like someone could fit a body in there. So, being curious, I opened it and saw a whole room. It was crazy. Inside there was a bed and lights attached to these tall wood pieces. Then a mini bookshelf with some books and a desk and computer. It was absolutely amazing. I don't have anything embarrassing a housekeeper could find. Handcuffs and a 6-month-old Tupperware container full of meatballs and marinara that I've somehow not removed is the most embarrassing thing you'd find. When I get a housekeeper, I'm just going to come clean and show them where all of the potentially embarrassing stuff is. I really DGAF, and it would probably break the ice. Once cleaned a house for a woman that worked from home. It was a huge house and there she was at her desk on the phone. I started cleaning that area and she chatted away. hectometers. I got me a white bee cleaning up after me. If my mama could see me now. Yes sir. She worked for them white folk 30 years. Ima beat this little white girl like them folk did to my mama. After saying this, she turned in her chair and saw me as I was walking by, as if I'd just come into the room. She had no clue I heard her. I feel where she's coming from, but I stopped going to her house for obvious reasons. Haven't been a housekeeper in years, but we can always tell when your marriage is falling apart. The amount of giving up is clear. What are the signs? Not at a house, but we know a lawyer who owns the company in a pretty big office likes to have hookers come to the office on nights when the stadium nearby is hosting a game. He's married. There's also always alcohol in the trash cans. House cleaner of 2 clients who are, well, we're dating each other. Guy client, we will call N, has no clue what we know about him. Female client, we will call L, is a little more in the loop of what we know. N apparently cheated on L with a woman, K, who broke up his previous marriage. S, L found out and dumped his A. He tried to get back together with L, even calling and texting multiple times a day. He did that for 2 weeks and suddenly went quiet, which clued L that he was sleeping with K again. I cleaned a few days later and sure enough, K's shoes were hidden under the couch, not a usual place. I didn't realize being in a soap opera was part of the job description. I don't know if this still applies, but I'm a house cleaner at a 5-star Inn restaurant, placing 5th in the top 10 best restaurants in the States. I've been working there for about 2 years now, and we definitely know when you've done the dirty in the room. We also know you've shaved your massive curly pubes in the shower and somehow managed to get them into the sink. We also know how much you pay for the room, and the way you treat the room reflects a lot on who you are as a person. They did well to hide it, but I know both of them are having affairs. She gets really giddy the week she meets her lover. She is usually quite dowdy in the way she dresses, but puts on much younger looking items to meet her man. The week she doesn't meet him is the week she is more glum but gets bombarded with messages, so she is stuck in her phone. He, on the other hand, he is a lot harder to catch. I find seemingly innocuous handwritten telephone numbers and names, always female, on scraps of paper. He has a professional that works all over the world and travels a lot and has a massive network, so it is part of the job. However, in his bin, wrapped in tissue paper, I'll find a torn off section of paper with a room number and presumably time written on it. This method is used with at least 7 different women, judging by the different styles of handwriting. I'm pretty sure he is banging more than that though. I wasn't exactly a housekeeper, but I was cleaning up files at a job that I quit a few years ago. Within a week, I found out that the owner never paid any of her bills and used government funds that was supposed to go to the adult care center she ran to buy herself expensive cars and houses that she shouldn't have been buying in the first place. Update: I hope I used the correct site, but I reported them using the HHS site. I forgot a lot about the company and I hope that their name and the city and state will be enough.